Welcome to PowerPoint Basics, Lesson 1, Introduction to the PowerPoint Window. In this lesson, I would like to take a moment to show you the components of the PowerPoint window and explain to you some of the features and capabilities that they have. At the top of the PowerPoint window, you'll notice this blue bar, which is called the title bar. It will tell you the name of the presentation that you're currently working on. Right now it says Presentation 2. That's because I haven't actually saved any file, so by default that's the kind of name you'll see, Presentation 1 or Presentation 2. Over here on the right you'll see the standard minimize, restore down, and close buttons that you see in most Microsoft products. Below that you will see the menu bar, which contains the various menus that drive this program as you work with it. The file menus, basically file management. It's the place where you go to open new files or create new files and open new files, saving, page setup, some of those popular commands, printing. Under the edit menu you will see probably the best button, and that's the undo button. Then there's other things like cut, copy, and paste, and we'll get into all this in later lessons. Under the view menu you will see the various views that you can have in PowerPoint, and we'll go over that in more detail in just a little bit. The insert menu is where you can insert things on a slide, for instance like a picture or a chart, table, etc. Under the format menu, whenever you think of the format menu, you always want to think of the way things look. So for instance, if you want to change the way a font looks or what the font color is, and this goes for Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, anytime you want to do something like this, think of the format menu. The tools menu is a good place for you to look for options where you can configure preferences for the program. Spell checker, thesaurus, different things like that you can use. The slideshow menu is basically where you can go and edit the slideshow itself and actually view it. So whenever you finish your presentation, you would go to the slideshow menu and click on the view show. Also, you have some animation and action settings that you can set up after your presentation is completed. Under the window menu you will see your actual presentations that you have open. Right now I've only got the one, but if there were multiple presentations open, you could window back and forth between them using this window menu. And then the help menu, which is very helpful. If you click on the help menu, you'll see the Microsoft Office PowerPoint help, and you'll also notice out to the side it says F1. You can also hit the F1 key anywhere, anytime in PowerPoint, and it'll give you help. The next bar down is called the standard toolbar. The standard toolbar, I think, gets that name because most Microsoft Office products have this very similar standard toolbar in the top of their bar area. If you notice, the icons on the bar will give you a little bit of a description. For instance, I move my mouse over this white sheet of paper and you see the word new, indicating that this will start a new presentation. So if I click on that, you'll notice it became Presentation 3, and it brought up a title slide for the presentation, since it picked up on the fact that it was the first slide in this presentation. You can open, save, very popular commands, print. A lot of these correlate with the file menu, and then there's some that correlate with different things. You can change the zoom here if you wanted to zoom in on something a little closer, or if you wanted to zoom out where you could see it just a little smaller. The next bar is called the formatting toolbar. The formatting toolbar basically correlates with the format menu. You can change the way things look. You can make the fonts different, change the font sizes, bold, italics, underlining. You can change the colors of the fonts that you have selected. Then you can also look at the slide design. You can actually change the slide design, and then if you want to add a new slide to the presentation, just click this button and you'll notice over here on the left that it adds a new slide. Over here on this side, on the left side, we have the slide pane. The slide pane will show you thumbnail versions of the slides that you have created. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click here and add some wording, and you can kind of see how this works here, I'm going to put PowerPoint Basics. And you'll notice over here on the left that you get kind of a thumbnail view of how this slide looks. And then I may put something like Lesson 1 PowerPoint window. And you'll notice that it thumbnails that picture there on the left. Now you can also do some interesting things here in the slideshow view if you right click in the area on the slideshow pane, and you can do a new slide. You can click and drag these slides around and rearrange the order of the slides if you want to change the way it goes. To the left of that on the tab you'll see an outline tab. The outline tab allows you to basically come up with an outline and then develop your presentation based on that outline. This is not a bad idea to start with if you're wanting to come up with a logical order for your presentation. So basically you could just come in here, I'm just going to type test, you hit enter and it'll come up with different things there. And if you go to your slideshow view, you notice it did create those slides, and there's test, test, test 2. You can see that these slides were created by me hitting enter. And there's a lot more to that, and we'll get into that later. Over here on the other side, on the right side, you'll see the slide layout, which basically changes the design of this current slide. So for instance, if I wanted it to be just a title and subtitle, I can click on that, or if I wanted 2 columns, I can click over here. Excuse me. I can click over here and it will change the look of the slide. You also have different content layouts, and when you click on this you'll have little shortcuts to basically things that are on the insert menu, like your clip art and your charts and tables, etc. Down at the bottom you've got a handy little feature called the Notes pane. What this will allow you to do is per slide it'll allow you to add notes, which basically will be like a cheat sheet for you to use during your presentation. This is strictly for the presenter. This is not something that you have to pass out to. It won't show up on the screen. It's basically when you print the notes out, you'll have just maybe some notes for you to help you remember what you wanted to, the points you wanted to make in that presentation. You can click this little bar here and drag those up and down if you want to make it bigger or smaller so you can see it better. Down here in the bottom left corner you've got the views, which if you saw up here earlier we had the normal, slide sorter, slideshow, and we've also got that down here at the bottom, little shortcuts to that. Right now we're in the normal view. If you click on the slide sorter view, you will see where a little bit bigger thumbnails, and this is also a place where you can go and rearrange the slides, hence the sorter view. And there's also other little things that show up here, for instance the transitions. If you want to add special effects to your slides, you can do that here, timing and for instance, and we'll look at some of that later. If you actually want to look at the sampling of your slideshow to this point, you click the slideshow from current slide view here, and it'll actually bring it up, the presentation, and you just click through it until you get to the end, and when you're done you just click and it comes back to the slide sorter view. I'm going to click back here on the normal view. This is just the basics here. Hopefully that you will have an idea and maybe an opportunity to open PowerPoint yourself and take a look around at some of these menus, and we will continue with some more lessons. This will be the end of our lesson 1, the PowerPoint window.